They're retired corporate executives and journalists, teachers and students, car dealers and accountants, moms and dads, hikers and bikers, equestrians and photographers, real estate agents and advertising directors. They're all volunteers and not your typical cactus huggers. They're the grassroots genius behind Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Conservancy, and they're about to celebrate 20 years of stellar success. The Conservancy's original passion and purpose was to preserve and protect Scottsdale's 1.8 billion-year-old treasure, the McDowell Mountains. When Scottsdale's growth galloped north toward the McDowells in the 1980s, a handful of individuals and groups sounded the alarm that our signature asset was in imminent danger. Although preservation was not a popular theme during Scottsdale's economic boom years, these visionaries crafted an effective message and presented it to all who would listen. In 1990, Jane Rao, Karen Berdinger, and a handful of others galvanized into an effective band of preservation advocates, and the following year incorporated as the McDowell Sonoran Land Trust. Focusing their call to action toward the Scottsdale City Council, the Land Trust asked the city to form a task force to study this pressing issue before the bulldozers moved in and destroyed Scottsdale's priceless view and wildlife habitat. In their first major victory, members of the McDowell Sonoran Land Trust celebrated the small but promising start of Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve in 1994. Not resting on its laurels, the Land Trust, as well as the city's new McDowell Sonoran Preserve Commission, urged the City Council to make paying for preservation a special election ballot issue. In May 1995, Scottsdale voters overwhelmingly approved a sales tax increase that would fund McDowell Mountain land purchases. In subsequent years, Land Trust volunteers helped ensure passage of other ballot issues that have expanded and funded preserved land purchases. The all-volunteer McDowell Sonoran Land Trust began attracting a wide range of business, tourism, education, preservation, and citizen volunteers. In 5 short years, the group had blossomed into one of the most respected, successful, and diverse nonprofits in Scottsdale and the Valley. Its board realized that advocacy would only be a part of the group's mission. Once the preserve became a reality, the Land Trust expanded its reach and became stewards and educators of the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. The Land Trust's outreach efforts gave residents a return on the investment of their supportive votes and began to provide passive recreational and volunteer opportunities to thousands of groups and individuals. Pioneer board member Chet Andrews established the Preserve Steward program in 1998, partnering with Scottsdale Community College to train volunteers to lead hikes and build trails and take care of the ever-expanding preserve. Today, there are over 400 trained stewards who dedicate tens of thousands of hours annually to a myriad of roll-up-your-sleeves preserve activities. Stewards have often been augmented by volunteers from youth, corporate, and homeowners groups in preserve cleanup projects and trail building. McDowell Sonoran Conservancy volunteers have saved the city of Scottsdale, the official owner of the preserve, hundreds of thousands of dollars by helping build, staff, and conduct hikes in the preserve. The Conservancy works hand in glove with the city. However, it receives no City of Scottsdale funding. This is perhaps Scottsdale's most successful public-private partnership in sheer number of participants and eco-historic impact. Since the McDowell Sonoran Land Trust first advocated its creation, the McDowell Sonoran Preserve has grown from an initial 3 parcels of land in 1994 to over 16,000 acres in 2009, with a goal of 36,000 acres preserved when eventually completed. As the group approaches its 20th anniversary, the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy continues to advocate the care and completion of the preserve. The Conservancy has a long-term strategy to gain widespread community support and conducts innovative programs like photography contests, the annual McDowell Sonoran Challenge, and the Family Friday Sunset Series to increase awareness, funding, and volunteerism. Its membership is open to all, and its friends number in the thousands. The Conservancy, true to its grassroots, wants to ensure that the preserve will always be accessible to the eco-friendly recreationist, inclusive to residents and visitors of all ages, physical abilities, and economic situations. When the Gateway opened in 2009, it spurred new interest in the preserve. Conservancy volunteers are working year-round to accommodate the increased demand for preserve access and programs. The McDowell Sonoran Land Trust founders, early board members, and volunteers were really onto something and helped the rest of us see the light. What some considered anti-development 20 years ago now is mainstream Scottsdale. They've helped bring us together as a community, aligned with a common purpose, protecting a living treasure that contains archaeological and geological resources not found anywhere else in the world. The McDowell Sonoran Conservancy is a model for how a community can create a major outcome. It's no small wonder that Scottsdale was recently named the 8th greenest city in the United States. Just imagine when the Conservancy's goal of completing the 36,000-acre preserve is reached, thus preserving 1/3 of Scottsdale as meaningful open space. Scottsdale will boast the largest urban preserve in the U.S. Now, won't that be something for all of us to celebrate?